It was a bitterly cold evening. Outside the city hospital, under a dim street lamp, two little girls stood motionless, holding hands. Their small frames trembled in the wind, their shoes soaked, cheeks red, but their eyes, those told a story of hope refusing to give up. The taller one, with a red ribbon in her tangled hair, whispered, "He'll come. I know he will." Moments later, a sleek black car glided to a halt at the curb. The driver stepped out and opened the door. A man in his early 30s emerged, tall, poised, commanding. This was Caleb Maddox, a tech billionaire, one of the richest and most private men in the country. Known for building an empire from scratch, he was rarely seen outside boardrooms or elite events. But as he approached the hospital entrance, the girls ran toward him. "Please, sir," one cried. "You're rich, right? Can you help our daddy? He's dying and they said we can't afford the surgery." Caleb stopped, startled. People asked him for favors all the time. Adults, investors, charities. But these were just kids. And they weren't asking for money. They were begging for their father's life. He crouched down, trying to stay calm. "What's your father's name?" The girl with the red ribbon whispered, almost like a prayer. "Daniel Carter." Time froze. Caleb blinked. The name echoed in his mind like thunder. Daniel Carter. That wasn't just anyone. That was the man who had once saved Caleb's life. Years ago, Caleb had been just another forgotten teenager, homeless, hungry, and angry at the world. He'd collapsed one rainy night outside a small garage in a quiet neighborhood. And Daniel Carter had found him. Daniel didn't ask for anything. He brought him in, gave him a blanket, a warm meal, and a place to sleep. He let Caleb stay in that garage for weeks, teaching him how to repair engines and reminding him, slowly, what it felt like to be human again. That act of kindness gave Caleb the strength to rise, to build, to dream again. And now, fate had brought him face to face with Daniel's daughters, who were asking him for help. Without saying another word, Caleb picked up his phone. Within minutes, an ambulance had been ordered. Daniel was transferred from the overcrowded public hospital to the most elite medical facility in the state. The best heart surgeons were called. Everything, treatment, transport, surgery, was paid in full. But Caleb didn't just sign the checks. He stayed. He sat silently in the waiting room, remembering nights in that garage, the oil stains, the old transistor radio, and Daniel's steady voice telling him he was meant for something more. Hours passed. Finally, a surgeon walked out, removing his mask. "He's stable," he said, smiling. "We managed to save him. It was close, but he's going to live." Caleb felt a lump in his throat. He closed his eyes, letting the tears fall silently. He wasn't a man who cried easily, but tonight, he did. The girls saw him and rushed over, hugging his legs tightly. "You saved him," they shouted. "Thank you, mister. Thank you." He knelt and hugged them both, choking back emotion. "No, girls," he said gently. "Your dad saved me a long time ago. I just, finally had the chance to return the favor." A few days later, Daniel opened his eyes in the hospital bed. His vision blurred for a moment, but then he saw Caleb sitting beside him. He blinked. "Caleb. Is it really you?" Caleb nodded, voice soft. "I owed you my life. You gave me dignity when I had none. You didn't even know me, but you believed in me. I'm here because of you." Daniel smiled faintly, his eyes welling up. "Looks like you turned out all right, huh?" Caleb chuckled. "You were the first person to ever believe that I could." They sat in silence for a moment, the kind that says everything words cannot. Outside the hospital room, the twin girls waited patiently. Caleb opened the door and called them in. "Your daddy's awake," he smiled. They rushed in, hugging their father tightly. Daniel looked up, barely able to speak. You saved my life, girls, and you brought back someone I never thought I'd see again. Moral of the story. Kindness is never wasted. Sometimes, the smallest act of compassion creates a ripple that turns into a wave years later. Daniel helped a boy without asking for anything in return, and that boy became a man who saved his life. This story reminds us that we should never underestimate the power of love, kindness, and belief in someone when they're at their lowest. You never know what that seed might grow into. Be kind. Always.